There's an overwhelming sense of uncertainty looming over Hannah Contreras' future.
This has made a permanent lump in my throat.
Her monthly federal student loan payments skyrocketing.
My student loan payment has gone up $905
every month. While it might sound like something a loan shark would do, doubling or tripling payments without notice, it's actually because of a dramatic change at the Department of Education. Not from staffing cuts, not even DOGE, but a broad interpretation of a court order. Some student loan repayment plans based on income are suddenly halted, affecting 13 million borrowers, according to the National Consumer Law Center. It's all in response to ongoing litigation over what the Biden administration called the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE plan, where monthly payments are based on income and family size.
That is one of the worst plans I have ever seen. Complete disaster of a plan. Having people's student loan payments based on their income. So if you have $500,000 student loan debt and you only make $50,000 a year, they're going to base your payment off a $5,000 loan off of your 50. You're never going to get rid of that loan because your payment isn't even going to be enough to cover any interest at all. So that interest is just going to be going up higher and higher and higher, and you're never going to get out of that student loan debt. Never. And the whole having to go into working at a public sector, making 120 payments, well, 120 qualifying payments, is absolutely insane because that's 10 years. I can't imagine being in debt for 10 years because 10 years ago, I was 20 years old. Me having a debt from 20 years old to now is crazy. But unfortunately, there was a lot of people who were banking on this plan to save them when in reality, if they had just, got their degree and went into like a public sector or started their own business, they would have been way better off because the vast majority of people who work in the public sector never get raises. They never get raises. Both of my parents worked in the private sector, in the public sector in New York City. They ain't really get no raises, really. They pretty much got raises to keep up with the rate of inflation, not really a raise based on their performance because public sectors don't do that. You even have to wait for someone to leave that's above you so you can take the job, and then everyone is like applying for that job. But if you stay in the same job year after year, you're not going to get no sizable raise.
An attractive option for millions of graduates just getting started.
Borrowers who've made the required number of payments in the SAVE plan would normally be eligible to have their remaining balance canceled.
Last year, several conservative-leaning states challenged the plan, saying it would require spending up to $475 billion not authorized by Congress. And a recent temporary order by the Eighth Circuit Court in Missouri broadened the scope of the case to some other income-based plans, too.
In response to the court order, the Department of Education, without any explanation, simply pulled down all of the applications for the income-driven repayment plans.
We reached out to the Department of Education for comment, but have yet to hear back. On the website, it says applications are temporarily unavailable due to the court's injunction. Consumer law experts like Abby Safroth say the DOE is going further than it needs to.
It could keep allowing borrowers to apply for and to stay in the other plans.
Now contrary.
No, they need to get rid of the whole plan. Get rid of the entire plan because it was a disaster of a plan. Do you guys know the amount of people who actually got their student loans forgiven from, I believe it was the end of Bush's era? It was less than 2%, or a little bit over 2%. A little bit over 2% of people who applied for the student loan forgiveness plan actually got their loans forgiven from Bush's era. That's insane. Y'all banking on this program, and 98% of y'all are stuck with your student loans.
With her monthly payments soaring and no increase in salary, is trying to figure out what's next.
I did everything I was supposed to so that I could be in the desk I'm in right now. And yet I may have been better off doing something different.
She's a mother of two with a master's degree. Today, she's working as a therapist in a community mental health clinic in Oregon. She says it's important work, but it doesn't come with a large paycheck.
I can pay the loans. I never said I couldn't pay them. I just said I need to be able to do it in the ways we were told when we were 18 that we would be able to.
Contreras and many more looking for clarity as their options seem narrower than ever.
So she's a mother of two. I'm just assuming she doesn't have a husband because they didn't say anything about a husband. They say she's a mother of two, got a master's degree, also said that she never got a raise. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Been in this program 10 years, has not gotten a raise yet at the job that she's at. You can't make this up. You can't make this crap up. And there's still so many of y'all trying to get into this plan now. It really seems to me that the people who went into this repayment plan never had any intentions of paying off these loans anyway. And I'm glad that they're not able to be discharged in bankruptcy. Because could you imagine you having a $500,000 student loan debt, you get a degree with some dentistry or whatever, and you get to file bankruptcy on that, yet you still get to keep your degree, you still get to keep your high-paying job, but your loans are gone? Like, that's not fair, because if I were to not make my payment on a house, I don't get to keep the house. They take that junk from me. Same thing with cars. That's not fair for the rest of us. So yes, the government held up its side of the bargain, which paid for you to go to school. You promised to pay them back for it. Pay them back for it. Pay what you owe.
Rahema Ellis is joining us now. So, Rahema, what are the options now for borrowers like Contreras?
Pay off your
Well,
loans.
they're not great for many people, but we should say those who are under the Biden era income plan, they already have an option, and that is that their payments have been paused since last year with no interest accruing, and that's a result of the lawsuit that has been, we talked about earlier. But those borrowers who are part of some other options, payment plans, well, they can also have their payments paused. But Hallie, here's the rub. The interest continues to accrue month after month after month. So that means that they're going to owe a lot more money at the end of all of this when they finally do make a payment. And you have to ask yourself, people have to ask themselves, what are they going to do? Do they find the money from somewhere, dig deep to find the money to make the payments now and to make so the interest stays reasonable, if you will?
Now, that is a wild thing she just said. You're able to have this loan, not make any payments on it, yet the interest still accrues on it while you're not having to make any payment. This is the only type of loan where I've ever seen that. The only type of loan. Because with pretty much every other type of loan, you have to make your payment. And if you don't, they just charge more for it on top of the interest. Student loans program was such a freaking disaster. And a lot of y'all, I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all had plenty of time to pay off your loans when you didn't have to make a payment and you weren't accruing interest. But y'all decided to go ball out. So now you're stuck with it. Credit scores are tanking, losing 100, 200, 300 points in your credit score. But it's not like you need another loan. You still haven't taken care of the loans that you had before.
Or to pause the payments, those interest payments go up, and they're going to have to deal with a much bigger bill down the road. Hallie?
Rahema Ellis, thank you very much for that reporting.
That's why they're getting rid of this whole plan, because their payment not even enough to cover the interest. Like I said, it just keeps going up and higher until, well, it's just going to keep going higher and higher because you can't bankrupt it. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. See y'all next time.